Hello friends, hope your placement preparation is going on well. This is Shagni and welcome to Placement Wala, your one-stop destination for placement preparations. So guys, as you know, your Capgemini examination is going to happen on 5th. So it is very much essential to revise all the topics or all the sections that are going to come in your exam tomorrow. So we have built a one-shot video that would help you to prepare your topics before going to the exam hall. So we would be trying to cover all the topics that are being asked in Capgemini, and we have taken up questions that are most repeated ones in the Capgemini examinations. So there is a very high chance that you get repeated questions from this video. So without skipping it, please uh, please see this entire video. I believe that this video would help you a lot in your revision. So without any further delay, let's move on to the video. So this is our first question, a question from the pseudocode section. As you can see, we have been given an array and two pointers A and B and an integer I. So in the first operation, A is assigned with num. A is assigned with num. So as you know, as A is a pointer, so A is a pointer. So here this assignment operator would assign the address of this num or address of the address where num starts. Okay. So A stores the starting address of num. So A would be pointing somewhere here, right? And B stores the second index from the starting of the num. So num starts from this first index and B stores the second index, that is B is pointing to this position. I hope you all understand up to this. And in this line, here an assignment operation is done where I is assigned a value star A plus 1. This star A means the value present at the value at the pointer. That is the value that is stored in the A pointer. What is the value? The value is 1. So this comes out to be 1 plus 1, which comes out to be 2. So I has been assigned a value of 2. Now we need to find what would be print in this line. So first is I with a value 2. Next value at pointer A, which is 1. And then value at pointer B, which is 8. So our final answer would be 2, 1 and 8. Hope you all understood it. So our correct option would be option A, right? Next, let's move on to the next question. So this is a question from the IT fundamental section. Here it is said the number of control lines for a 8 to 1 multiplexer. Now, as you know, for a multiplexer, the number of if the number of input lines is m, then the number of control lines is given as m. If it is the input line is given as 2 to the power m, the number of control lines would be m. Hence, for our case, the number of input lines is 8, which can be written as 2 to the power 3, and hence the number of control lines would be equal to 3. I hope I could make you all understand. So the correct option would be option A. Next, there is a fill in the blanks question. Hub is a dash device and switch is a dash device. So the options are multicast and broadcast for hub. So as you know, hub is a broadcast device. If you could take the example of the star topology, you could see that this was the central hub and it was connected with all the systems. Like this, all the systems are connected to the central hub. This means that any information coming from this would be sent to any other system connected in this topology. Hence, hub is a broadcast device. So these two options are already eliminated. Now we need to see which kind of device is a switch. So as you know, a switch is one of a type of routing device. Switch is an intelligent device more specifically. So the data that is coming to the switch first data decides what is the destination of that data using the MAC address. Now this MAC address is decided uh, by the switch, and according to this MAC address, the recipient of the data receives the particular signal. I hope you could understand. So in this case, the data moves from switch to the particular single recipient. Only one recipient gets it, and hence it is a unicast device. That is, the data comes from one source and goes to the one destination. Hence, one-to-one relation is there. Hence, it is a unicast device, and this option C, would be our correct option. Hope I could make you understand. Let's move on to the next question. So what is the process of converting data into unreadable format, unreadable from to prevent unauthorized access known as? So it is a simple question. The process is encryption. As you know, in encryption, if suppose I am writing Shagnik, so after encrypting this may be turned to, let's say, 1 hash 2 star 3 4 s 2 I, something like this, an imaginary something. So, so that the actual data is not being visible to the users. It would be shown in some format that is not easily uh, not easy to decrypt or not easy to uh, visualize and just get the data. So this process of doing it is known as encryption. Hope you all understood it. Let's move on to the next question. So what is bandwidth? So bandwidth, the options are the speed of data transmission. No, this is not the correct answer. The range of frequencies available for data transmission. Yes. So bandwidth is, it is, you can take it as an analogy like if you have a pipe, let's say you have a pipe of 1 inch diameter and a pipe of 5 inch diameter. Then through the 5 inch diameter pipe, the amount of water moving would be high, and the amount of water moving through the pipe with 1 inch diameter would be lower, and that is what a bandwidth does. According to a bandwidth, the amount of data that passes through a given channel is decided based on some given frequencies. Higher the frequency, higher is the bandwidth, right? Higher is the bandwidth. So the correct answer is option B. Now let's move on to the next question. Now the next question is, which wireless communication technology is commonly employed for short-range device communication, including smartphones, laptops, and peripherals? Now, this kinds of question you need to know the information. It is not like you are gonna understand something. समझ के भी क्या कर लोगे? ये सब किसी काम कभी काम नहीं आने वाला जब तक इस टेक्नोलॉजी में काम नहीं कर रहे हो. So no need of understanding this question. You need to know the information, or else just try to analyze the options and take the option that is most possibly the correct option in your view. So as you know, we have no, actually I have no idea about WiMAX. So leave that. That is most probably not the correct answer. Next is LTE. If you know LTE, that VoLTE section is there in the internet, 4G internet connectivity. LTE last portion is there. So that is probably used for the 4G connectivity, which is not at all a short range connection. Next come NFC and GSM. Again, I have no idea about. Again, most of the people have no idea about GSM, so that is not probably the correct answer. Now, the next is NFC. If you know that NFC is used for payments, you could touch your mobile in that card reader and then you do the payment. So NFC is most probably the correct answer. And that is the correct answer also. I have checked it. So NFC is the correct answer. I am forgetting the full form currently. So it is the correct answer. NFC would be the correct answer for this question. Next, we should capitalize initial keyword while writing the pseudocode. This is a rule. Yes, this is a rule. We need to write the first letter as the capital letter. So in pseudocode questions, if you have seen, then suppose we are assigning values to a variable, then that is sometimes written as set a equal to, let's say, 5. So this first letter is, or first word is entirely capitalized, or it's also sometimes written as set a equal to 5. So in this case also first letter is capitalized, and here also first letter is capitalized. So that is a rule that needs to be followed while writing pseudocodes. So let's move on to next question. It is a pseudocode question. Yes, here you can see the first letter is capital here, first letter is capital, first letter is capital. So this norm needs to be followed while writing pseudocodes. Okay, so here we have three variables, a equals 2, b equals 11, and c equals 5. Now there is an if condition where 4 plus 5, that is 9, is less than 6 plus b. So 6 plus b is 17. Yes, that is true. So we move inside the for loop, and here is an assignment operation with the binary operator b equal to c and a. Now c value is 5, and 5 can be represented as 4, 2, and this is 1, and A is 2. So 2 is represented as 0, 1, 0. And if we take the AND operation, it would be 0, 0, 0. So this comes out to be 0. So B's value is updated to 0. Now end of if, and we come out to the last statement, that is A plus B plus C. So that would be equal to 2 plus 5 plus 0, which is equal to 7. So option A, 7 is the correct answer. Hope you all got it. Let's move on to the next question. So it is a pseudocode question again. Here we have three variables x, y, z. So x and z, y are initialized at first, x equals 3 and y equals 90. Okay. While y is greater than 0, okay, so a while loop is there, y is greater than 0. So at first y equals y by 3. So y becomes y by 3, that is 30. Next, x equals x plus 6. So 3 plus 6 becomes 9. And c equals x plus y. Okay. C equals x plus y. So 9 plus 30 is 39. Now again we check, is y greater than 0? Y is 30, that is greater than 0. So we move inside, we check y equals y plus 3. So that is 10. And x equals x plus 6, so 9, 6, 15, and c equals x plus y. So 10 plus 15, that is 25. Now next is, again we check, it is y is greater than 10, 0 or not. Yes, it is greater. So we do the first operation, y by 3. So 10 by 3 would be 3, because you know the correct answer is 3 point something, but that point portion would be taken aside as all the values are integer values. Next comes x equals x plus y, x plus 6. So 15, 6, 21, and c equals 21 plus 3, that is 24. Next would be, we check again, is y greater than 0 or not? Yes, it is greater. So we do the first operation. So 3 by 3 is 1, and x equals x plus 6, that would be equal to 27, and c equals x plus y, so that would be equal to 28. Again we check, x is sorry, y is greater than 0. Yes, so we do y equals y by 3. So 1 by 3 would be 0, and 27 plus 6 would be 33, and 33 plus 0 is 33. Now we check again, y is greater than 0, no. So we move out of this loop now. Now we check, is C greater than 30? Yes, C is greater than 30. So if C mod 3 is equal to 0, so 3 mod 3, so 33 mod 3 is equal to 0. Hence this condition is satisfied. We print X. So our correct answer would have X first. So X's value would be 33. Now after this, we have the else portion, and then the C equal to C by 5. So 33 by 5, that would be equal to 6. Now we again move to the while condition. We check if C is greater than 30. No, C is 6, which is not greater than 30. So we move out of the while loop and write the value of C, that is 6. So our correct answer would be 33 comma 6. So the option, okay, I think this 9 portion is written extra. So if we remove this, so option D is the correct option. Option D is the correct option. I hope you all understand, and please forgive us for this mistake. हम भी इंसान है भाई, कभी कभी गलत हो जाता है. So I apologize for the mistake in the option. So the correct answer would be 33 comma 6. Hope you all got it. Let's move on to the next question. It is another question from pseudocode section. As you can see, your pseudocodes can be directly based on any language. So you should not think like that you would get only that the generalized pseudocode. Rather, you can get direct code snippets from languages. So you need to be prepared for that also. Okay, so X is running from 10 to 0. So X would have values 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, then 3, 2, 1, and 0. Now we check for Z. Now Z would have AND operation between X and X right shift 1. So first value of X is 10, and that is written as 1010, and right shift would be 101, and the final answer would be 000. Now it is checking whether Z has some value or not. If Z is 0, this operation would not be done, and we move inside loop. We go for the next iteration, or else the value of X would be printed. So for the first operation, Z is 0. So we move to the next one, which is 9. So 1001, and on right shift we get 1000. This is 0 again. Next we move for 8. 8 is 1000, and right shift would be this. This is 0 again. So for 7, 7 would be 111, 1, 1 and 1. And right shift operation would give us 0, 1, 1. The AND operation would give 1, 1. So that is 3. So if condition is satisfied and we print the value of X, so our answer would contain value of X, that is 7. As you can see, only one option is there, which is starting with 7. So option C is our correct answer. So you need not to do this for all the other iterations, because we have got an unique option. So we can mark that option without doing the other operation, and that would save our time. So moving on to the next question. Okay, so what does the term zero-day exploit mean? So zero-day exploit is a cyber attack where the faults or the patches of a particular system is analyzed, and before the developers fixed that issue, the attackers attack on that system depending on that particular loophole. So zero-day attack is something where before we patch up the loopholes, the Attackers enter through those loopholes. So let's see which option is correct. Exploiting software vulnerabilities before a patch is available. Yes, before we do the patch up work, the software vulnerability uh, is taken into care or is marked, and then an entry point is made through that vulnerability, right? Next, what is the purpose of VPN? So VPN is used to securely connect to a private network over the internet. So that is the correct option. Next, let's move on to the next question. What is the primary goal of distributed denial of service attack? So as you know, distributed denial of service attack or the DDoS attack is something where multiple requests are made on a particular system. Like those are not the valid requests, rather about thousands or crores or millions of messages or requests are made all at a time in order to paralyze that particular system. So this is the DDoS attack. So disrupt normal functioning of the system. What it does is so much traffic comes at once that the system fails to process them, and then it hangs, or let's say it malfunctions, and the actual or the genuine users do not get the service required by them. Next, what is the purpose of an intrusion detection system? Block internet access, detect and respond to suspicious activities. Yes. So any intruder, if any intruder tries to go inside the system, the IDS acts as a shield. It checks whether that is a valid user or not. If it is not a valid user, then it detects a fault in the system and then rejects that user or does some action against the user so that that user can't enter into the system. Hope you all got it. Let's move on to the next question. Which of the following is not a service model in cloud computing? So this all infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, and software as a service. These are all services that are provided by the cloud computing. Only this communication as a service is not one which is provided by cloud computing. What is the primary benefit of using cloud computing? Increased hardware cost. No, you need not set up any hardware for cloud computing. So that is wrong. Reduced scalability. No, cloud computing was made to keep that scalability factor in mind. Improved accessibility and scalability. Yes, cloud computing is highly accessible and scalable. Limited data storage. No, that is again wrong, because cloud services were meant for high data storage, high amount of data storage, high scalability, and easy access of data from anywhere of the world at any point of time. So let's move on to the next question. Okay, if we draw a binary search tree by inserting the given numbers from left to right, then what would be the height of the binary tree, BST? Okay, so as you know, binary tree is a tree where every node, where the left of every node is smaller than that particular node, and any node present on its right hand side is larger than that particular node. Now, if we try to build this binary tree with the given numbers, so we would have 1 as the root node, then 4. So 4 is greater than 1, it comes to the right hand side. Next 3, 3 is greater than 1 but less than 4, so it comes here. Next 5, 5 is greater than 1 and it is also greater than 4, so it comes here. Next is 7, so 7 is greater than 1, greater than 4 and greater than 5, so it comes here. Now 9, 9 is greater than 1, greater than 4, 5 and also 7, so 9 comes here. Now height of the tree is given as the number of edges starting from the root node to the leaf node at the highest depth. So the height here is 1 plus 1, 2, 3 and 4. So 4 is the correct option. Hope you all got it. Now in a mean heap, the left child is located as. So as you know, for a mean heap, the for array representation of a mean heap, if I is the particular node, then the index of the left node is given as 2 into I plus 1, and position of the right node for this ith node is given as 2 into I plus 2. So for our required question, we need to find the left child. So this would be the answer. And here, as we have k representation, we can represent it using k as this 2 into k plus 1. So D is our correct option. Hope you all understood it. Let's move on to the next question. Okay, now we are moving on to the verbal section. So let me change the color of the pen. Let's say I took blue. The literature has the power to dash society by reflecting cultural values, challenging norms, and inspiring change. What or which of these best fits in blank one? So literature has the power to dash society. Okay, control, weight, influence, pressure. Okay, influence is the correct option. So literature has the power to influence society by reflecting cultural values. So people can be influenced by the cultural values and the challenging norms that literature provides. Let's move on to the next question. Which of these best fits blank 2? Okay, so let's see what is there in the second line. Through storytelling, authors can dash social issues, evoke empathy, and provoke critical thinking. So the options are address, wait, add, and show. So address would be the correct option because authors can address the issue that or address the particular points that have been told here that address social issue, evoke empathy, and provoke critical thinking. So address would be the correct option here. So let's move on to the next question. Choose the option which best expresses the given sentence in indirect speech. What were the main findings of your research? The professor inquired. So the professor inquired about the main findings for my research. The professor inquired about the main findings of my research. So of my research is the correct option. Next, we have another direct indirect speech question. Mark the option which best expresses the given expression in indirect speech. Can you ask her to look for me? So I am asking someone to uh, tell or to ask someone else whether she can look for me or not. Okay, so I told her to be asked to look for me. So told is not possible. Then I asked her that look for me. Yes, that is the correct option. I asked her that look for me. I asked that you look for me. So that is the correct option. Next, he said, I didn't see you come. So he told me I had not seen him come. No, that is not the correct answer. He told me I had not seen me come. So that is completely illogical sentence. That he told me he has not seen. He has would not be the correct answer because in indirect speech we always use the past tense. He told me he hadn't seen me come in. Yeah, that is the correct option. Now we have to check the error. The French rulers could neither speak in the language of the people nor read hieroglyphs and this fueled resentment amongst the fellow countrymen. Okay, so resentment amongst is not possible. Resentment among is the correct grammar, right? So resentment among is the correct and amongst is used here. So this is the wrong answer. Resentment amongst. Yeah. Option B is the correct answer. Now for the next question, we need to fill in the blank. In his pursuit, the police went dash the border. The police went up to the border. Okay. Now I am happy to have been given a chance to interview for the lead role. So lead role is the unique role. So the would be the correct article used here. Now closest to the meaning of the word given below, ruminate. If you know, ruminate means to think deeply, to think deeply about something or some matter or some thought. So thinking deeply is connected to offer no, ask no, inspire no, mediate. Yeah, mediate is something where you think deeply for about something, and the actual meaning of ruminate is also to think deeply. So mediate would be the correct answer here. Next, identify the grammatically correct sentence. She don't like football. No, she is a third person singular number, so does would be correct. She doesn't likes. So again, likes would not be correct because we have used does here. So likes can't be used. So option C, she doesn't like playing football is the correct answer. Okay, let me change the color. Option C is the correct answer. Find the error in the sentence. The teacher gave us a homework to complete before Monday. So this portion gave us a homework. So our homework cannot be the correct because homework is uncountable, right? It is uncountable. Hence we can't use a here. So the option C is the correct option here. Now let's move on to next section. So up till this, we are done with three sections: the pseudocode section, the IT fundamental section, and the verbal section of the Capgemini exam or the selection process or round one. Now we have next game-based aptitude. Here you need to solve as much levels as you can within a given stipulated time. Most probably you would get 5 or 6 minutes to complete to play each game, and within that time you need to answer as much levels or pass as much levels as you can. Uh, I think you would get most probably 3 to 5 types of games you need, and you will have uh, about 6 minutes for every game. So a total of about 24 minutes for, let's say, 4 games. You would have 6 minutes for each game. Every game would be starting, and your 6 minute timer would also be starting. You need to focus on the questions, understand the instructions that would be given prior to starting of the game. You would also be given an example game before you start the question. So understand that portion very perfectly, or and try to know as much as you can within in that portion. If if you require, then read the things 2 or 3 times. No time would be allocated in that portion. But once you start your game, you need to finish it completely. You can't stop it in between and read the instructions, right? So keep these few things in your mind and let's solve the questions. Okay, let me change the color of the pen. So in this question, you could see we need to uh, fill this blank so that we get this final answer as 13. Now you see 5 plus 4 into something would give us 13. Now if we deduct 5 from 13, we would have 8 as the answer of this section, right? Now we can get 8 by 4 into 2 is 8. So 2 would be our correct answer. Hope I could make you understand. Now let's move on to the next question. Okay, one thing you need to keep in mind is that in these kinds of question, I think you would have a constant like you can't repeat any number. So whatever you need to fill these blanks with, that must be unique. You can't be repeating these numbers. Okay. Now, if we use 9 for this, 9 by 3, that would give us 3. Okay. So remaining is 7. Now 9 by 3. Okay. 4 plus 3 is 7. So if we put 4 and 3 here, we would get our correct option. So 4, 3, 7 and plus 3 is 10. So we have not repeated any number and our correct answer is this. Let's move on to the next problem. This is another type of game. Here you need to number each item 1, 2, 3 and 4. Now you need to check where this item is moving in the next step. So 1 is moving here, 2 here, 3 here and 4 here. So our correct answer would be 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is our correct answer. Now, if you need uh, detailed explanation of these games, then we have made another video, particularly on the game-based aptitude for Capgemini. So you can refer that video. We have that in our channel. You can subscribe our channel and you get many such videos based on multiple companies. So follow our channel like that, and for particularly this game-based aptitude, you would get detailed explanation, and many problems have been solved in that video. Go check out that video for details of more games and more questions on game-based aptitude. So let's move on to the next question. So here is a fixed operation at first. So we need to perform that at first. After that, we would see the correct option. So the symbol at first position is moving to third. We have 4 blanks. So square is moving to third. Then second position symbol is kept at second itself. So triangle would be here. Then the circle moves on to the first position and plus moves on to the last. So that is the final arrangement after the fixed operation. Now if we mark it as 1, 2, 3, 4. So 1 is moving to last. So okay, this is the option with 1 at last. So that is the correct option. Don't go on evaluating every single symbol. Rather try to solve one symbol, check if there is an unique option or not. If there is, then directly mark that without any hesitation, right? So that would help you save some time and solve more questions within that stipulated time. Okay, so this is a question where you would be given two reference diagrams and you need to check from the options which two diagrams have the same arrangement as the reference diagram. Now, if you see this, then we have the first row, all the symbols are same, and these two positions also have the same symbol as the first row. Here also you see first row is same, and these two positions are also same as the first row. So which options are there that follow this pattern? So you could see this option is one that follow this pattern, and other than this, okay, so that's not the logic for solving this. So I hope I could make you understand how the question works. I got the logic wrong. So the first row is same, right? And the other two rows have four items where two are in pair and two are not in pair. So these two are in pair, these two are in pair, and these two not in pair. Again, in this first row is same. These two are in pair, these two are in pair, and these two are not in pair, right? So for our options here, this is the first row is correct, and then we have these two in pair. These two are pair. This is the first row. These two are in pair, and that is not. So this is one of the correct options. And again, so these two can't be the correct option. So this is another correct option. So I think they are only checking the first row as the same. So these kinds of questions are given in the examination. So these are a few questions that are a bit confusing. Here you see that only the first row category, first row criteria is being seen and not the other things. So you need to be careful while solving these questions. As I felt in this trap, you should not be falling in this trap like this. So these questions are a bit confusing, but really easy questions. There are you can skip these questions also. No need to mark these or waste this much of time. Rather, you can skip this question. No marks would be deducted, neither anything would be awarded. So you can move to the next question and try solving that without wasting time in this question, particular question. Okay. So let's move on to the next question. You can see the first two rows are same. First two rows are same in this question. So this option and this option are the correct options for this question. Now we move on to the next question. So here we need to find the symbol that would be coming in this question mark in place of this question mark. So for this question, every element inside a row and every element inside a column must be unique. Okay, so we need to solve it accordingly. It is something like that Sudoku that we have played. It is something like that, but in place of numbers, there are symbols, right? Now, if we fill this box, so here circle would come because triangle can't come and plus and square can't come. So triangle is the only option. Again, triangle would be coming here. Next, triangle and square are done. Okay, triangle and square are done and circle is done. So only option left is plus for this particular item. Because you see triangle and square are done for this row. Again, for this particular cell, uh, circle can also not come. Hence, the only option that could come is the plus sign, right? So the correct answer for this question would be plus. So this box would have plus symbol. I hope you all understood that. So correct option would be option A. Let's move on to the next question. So this question is a bit tricky question, but you need to uh, solve it with mind. And these questions do come in very latter levels of the question. If you could have solved about, let's say, 15 or 16 levels, after that you may get these kinds of questions, and they are very rare, right? Okay, so here in this question, these two boxes can have either of plus or triangle. So let us put triangle here and plus here. You need to do the trial and error method in this case because no other option is there. Now you would have plus here and a triangle here. So plus would be placed here. Now for this one, plus and square are all done. So here we'll have only triangle left because you see plus and circle are done for this row, for this column, and again square is done for this particular cell. So only option is triangle. So the correct answer for this question is the plus symbol, right? So plus is the correct option. Now let me check with the by reversing this thing if we can get an answer. I took triangle here. Now for this case, I'd be taking plus here and triangle here. In that case, we'd have triangle here and plus here. So we would have triangle here and this would be the plus symbol and this would be the square symbol then. Okay. So there is a bit confusion. So this is a square. Okay, let me see by reversing this. I think I did one mistake. So here I placed triangle in the previous triangle. If I place here and plus here, so we would have plus here and triangle here and plus here. Now triangle would be placed here. Only option left is square. Now if I reverse the symbols, if I place plus here and triangle here, you would have triangle here and plus here and triangle here. So only symbol that can come here is plus and square would be here. Okay. So as you could notice, the if we reverse these two symbols, the final answer is square. So our correct answer would be square. So the final answer is uh, not depending on this on the symbol that we take in these two. uh, two blanks. So any symbol we take, irrespective of their orientation, we would get the same answer as square here in this box, right? I hope I could make you understand. You can rewind the video and check it again to understand this question better. Okay, let's move on to the next question. So in these questions, you need to move this ball from this position to this particular circle, right? So you need to do this in the minimum number of steps possible, and the uh, and your answer would be correct only if you can solve it in minimum number of steps. If there are any solution that has the number of steps lesser than that of yours, then your one would be considered as wrong and you would not be awarded any marks for that. Rather, your marks would be deducted. Hope I could make you understand. So for this particular question, you need to move this box on the right side first. So the box would be placed here. Then this box moves from top to this position and then from this position to here. So after this, the ball has a clear path to move from here to here and then from here to the destination. So the number of steps we required were 1 plus, first this moves here and then this box to this, so plus 1, and from this to the right side another plus 1, then the ball moves from this position to this position, so plus 1, and then from here to the hole, that is another plus 1. So the total number of steps required were 5, and that is your correct answer, the minimum number of steps required. Hope you all got it. Let's move on to the next question. So here it is a pretty straightforward question. You can move this block here and then this block here. So the ball would have a clear path to the goal. So the number of steps required were 1, this to this, and this box to this, another 1, and then the ball moves to the destination 1. So the minimum number of steps were 3. Hope you all got it. Let's move on to the next question. So in this question, you can see we have a pattern which we need to check which particular element or which particular term in this pattern is the wrong one. Now you can see that you have an arrow in this direction and then in the second step an arrow towards the left is made. Then in the third step an arrow towards the right should have been made, and then in the fourth step an arrow to the left. Okay, so 3 could be a probable wrong answer, but we can't directly point this wrong, as we need to see whether the pattern that we are thinking of is being followed in the further steps or not. If it is not followed, then some other pattern is being followed, that we need to keep in mind. Left, then next is right, then again left, then a reverse operation is done. So this and this are becoming same, and left is being deducted first, then right. Okay, so up till this, the pattern that we are following is correct. Now you could get a doubt whether the seventh step is wrong or not, because the same thing is being repeated. We could have moved from 6 to 8 directly, but this step is being repeated. So 7 could be a possible wrong answer and 3 could be a possible wrong answer. So we check the options. You see there is no option with 7 as the answer. So 7 cannot be the wrong answer. Hence, the wrong term in the series is the third term, and hence option B is the correct answer. I hope I could make you all understand. Let's move on to the next question. So for this question, you see this is a small dot. In the next step, it becomes large, and in the next step, it completely fills this entire circle. Then a reverse operation is going on where this element is being repeated. After this is being repeated, and then this is completely vanishing to only a line in this step. After that, this should have been a circle with a small dot like the step 1, but it is not being followed. So option 7 or step 7 is the correct or the incorrect term in this series. So option B is the correct option. Did you all get it? Okay, so let me make you understand once again. You see, the pattern is something like this. We have a circle here with a small dot. Now this, for the next step, this small dot enlarges and almost covers the entire circle. And in the further step, it completely covers the entire circle. So this is you can say one cycle. After this entire circle or the inner circle that has covered the entire outer circle is again starting to squeeze in size. So that next step is almost full circle, and after that a circle with a small dot, and after that only this blank circle. So after this step again it would be again this circle would start to fill. So a small dot, then almost filled circle, and then a completely filled circle. This should have been the series. But as you can see, in place of this term, the seventh term is having nothing inside this outer circle, and hence the seventh term is the wrong term, and hence our option B is the correct option. Hope you all got the logic in this question, and that was it for the day. We took a lot of questions today, and all the questions were previous year questions asked in the Capgemini examination itself. So you may get a few common questions in your exam tomorrow. And I hope this video helped you a lot in your last minute revision for your examination. And all the best for your examination. Hope your exam goes well and you get your dream job at Capgemini. So keep following this channel, subscribe the channel for more such content and help us grow more. And please hit that like button if you like the content. Share it with your friends, and we'll be meeting soon in another such video. Till then, take care. Thank you. Tata. Bye bye.